There comes a moment in every soul's journey, a moment so quiet and yet so deafening, when you realize the hands you kept reaching for will never reach back. The hearts you kept pouring into were never open to receive. And you ask yourself, why do I keep giving to those who do not care? Why do I keep bleeding for people who never even offer a bandage? My friend, that is not love. That is not sacrifice. That is bondage disguised as loyalty. The world will tell you to keep holding on, to be kind, to be patient, to wait just a little longer. But I'm here to tell you what the wind tells the tree before a storm: let go or break. There are people in your life right now who do not see you, do not value you, and never will. And yet, like a prisoner clinging to rusted chains, you hold on, hoping one day they'll change. But my friend, the longer you chain your heart to those who do not care, the further you drift from the one who always has. There is a sacred kind of heartbreak that comes when you finally realize that your worth was never dependent on someone else's ability to love you. Some people will only stay in your life to take what they can, to drain your light, to feed off your kindness until there's nothing left. And when you are empty, they vanish. But I say to you today, you were not created to be emptied by the careless. You were formed in the hands of you were whispered into existence by power and purpose. You are not here to beg for love. You are not here to tolerate neglect. You are not here to be a convenience for someone else's ego. There are seasons where the one who never leaves will start to strip away the illusions, pull down the masks of those who pretend to care, not to punish you, not to break you, but to free you. Free you from the emotional chains that keep you bound to people who were never assigned to your destiny. Some are not your family, they are your prison. Some are not your friend, they are your distraction. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the Creator saying, let them go, I have better. But we hold on, don't we? We hold on out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of the unknown, fear that maybe, just maybe, this is all we deserve. But that is the lie. The lie the darkness whispers when it sees your light, the lie the world repeats, so you'll keep settling. So you'll keep breaking yourself to fix what was never meant to last. But hear me when I say, you were not made to live in fear. You were made to walk in freedom. There is a holy power in release. There is a divine peace in surrender. When you let go of who they were, what they did, what they didn't say, how they failed you, when you open your hands and stop trying to grip people who never truly saw you, then and only then will you feel the embrace of the one who always did, the one who was with you when the doors closed, when the texts stopped, when the dinners were cold and the smiles were fake, the one who sat beside you while you cried into pillows soaked with unanswered questions. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are not the problem. Sometimes people are so blind they cannot see gold even when it shines in their hands. But their blindness is not your burden. Their coldness is not your reflection. The way they treat you does not define you. The one who created you already called you worthy, already called you chosen, already said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And that voice, that eternal voice, is the only one that matters. You've been watering deserts, hoping flowers will grow. You've been planting seeds in frozen ground. You've been waiting on spring and people who only bring winter. But the Creator is not limited to those fields. There is a garden waiting for you, a place of restoration, of joy, of true connection. But you cannot get there if you're still clinging to weeds that choke the life out of you. The path forward is narrow. It requires courage. It requires clarity. And most of all, it requires trust. Trust that when you walk away from those who never saw your value, the one who shaped you will walk with you. Trust that when you close a door, a better one will be opened, not by effort, but by grace. Trust that silence from people is not rejection, is redirection. The absence of their love is not a curse, it's an invitation. An invitation to come closer to the one who loved you before you even knew your name. There will be nights where the pain feels unbearable, where the weight of detaching from what you thought was love leaves you breathless. But even then, especially then, the Creator is close. Like the gentle hand of a mother calming a child, He wraps His presence around your soul. And where the world says you're alone, He says, no, you are mine. And in that stillness, something inside you will awaken, something sacred. The truth that peace is better than fake love, that solitude is better than betrayal, that being whole with God is better than being half with people. You are not weak for walking away. You are not bitter for choosing yourself. You are not cold-hearted for protecting your peace. You are wise, you are rising, you are finally listening to the voice of eternity that says, you are enough. I have seen people spend years, decades, imprisoned in relationships that kill their spirit, all for appearances, all for fear, all for a sliver of affection that never comes. And I ask, what would happen if you trusted the Creator more than you feared being alone? What would happen if you walked out of the chains and said no more? I'll tell you what would happen. You would be free. Free to dream again, free to breathe without tension, free to laugh without guilt, free to love without begging, free to walk in rooms and not feel like you have to shrink to be accepted, free to be the person you were always meant to be, bold, bright, unshaken, and deeply loved by the one who made you. There will always be people who cannot love you the way you need, not because you are unlovable, but because they are unequipped. You cannot expect depth from shallow waters. You cannot find fire in cold hearts, and you cannot rise if you are tethered to anchors. Let this be the day you break the rope. Let this be the day you rise. You owe no one your destruction. You owe no one your silence. You do not have to keep showing up for people who never show up for you. God did not form you to live in emotional poverty. He formed you for fullness, for beauty, for peace. And yes, even in your pain, He is present. Even in your loneliness, He is working. The absence of people doesn't mean the absence of God. In fact, sometimes it is in their absence that you finally hear His voice clearly. The same God who parted seas, who calmed storms, who whispered purpose into barren land, that same eternal power lives near you now. Not in some distant temple, not behind some unreachable curtain, but within your very breath. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not stuck. You are right where you are meant to be, standing at the edge of freedom. Step away from the ones who only call when they need you. Step away from the ones who lie with sweet lips but hearts of stone. Step away from those who smile in public but destroy you in private. Step away from the empty promises, the excuses, the half-hearted love, and step toward the presence of the one who never lies, never fades, never leaves. Will it hurt? Yes, but pain is often the pathway to peace. Will it be lonely? At first, yes, but sometimes solitude is the surgery your soul needs to heal. Will people talk? Of course. Let them talk, let them question, let them gossip. But while they speak, you rise. While they laugh, you heal. While they doubt, you become. Because you are not living for their approval, you are walking for your freedom. Free yourself from those who don't care about you. Not out of hate, not out of bitterness, but out of reverence for your soul. You are sacred ground. You are not a doormat. You are not a backup plan. You are not a second choice. You are a creation of divine intention. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. The storms of life may still come, the winds may howl, but when you are rooted in the truth of who you are, when your identity is anchored in the Creator's love, you cannot be shaken. You can walk through fire and not be burned. You can lose people and not lose your peace because you know where your worth comes from. And it doesn't come from how many people text you back. It comes from the one who whispered your name into the womb of time and said, "This one is mine." And now, as your heart steadies and your spirit begins to breathe again, you must know this: the pain you've endured has not been in vain. The tears you shed in secret have not disappeared into the void. They were seen, they were counted, they were sacred. Every drop of sorrow has soaked the ground of your life like rain preparing a harvest. And that harvest, that rising, begins when you finally believe that you were never alone. You see, the Creator doesn't always stop the storm. Sometimes He walks you through it. He doesn't always silence the pain immediately. Sometimes He allows it to build something eternal within you. But make no mistake, He is there in every shadow, in every silence, in every sleepless night where you wondered if your existence even mattered to anyone. Oh, how it mattered to the one who never leaves. He was there when they shut the door. He was there when they gave up on you. He was there when the world turned cold and your voice was lost beneath the noise. You may have been ignored by people, but you were never invisible to God. Not for a second. Not even once. And now you stand at a crossroads between who you were and who you're becoming, between bondage and freedom, between sorrow and purpose. And the whisper of the Creator echoes in the silence, "Come with me, leave behind what was, walk into what will be." But still, your heart resists, because the pain became familiar, the chaos became normal. You don't know who you are without the weight you carried for so long. You don't know how to breathe without the pressure. But you must. You must let it go. You were not created to be a dumping ground for other people's issues. You were not designed to be the emotional punching bag for those too wounded to love correctly. You are not here to keep proving your worth to those who are blind to it. You are here to live fully, boldly, without shame, without fear, without chains. The Creator did not form you for scraps. He formed you for sacredness. You are not background noise in someone else's life. You are a masterpiece, handcrafted with intention, destined to shine, and even now He is clearing the road ahead, pulling away what no longer serves you, removing those who never had the heart to stay, and breaking the cycles that held you hostage. But this new chapter requires courage. It demands a holy kind of bravery, the kind that walks away from half-love and steps into the unknown with nothing but faith. Faith that the one who never leaves will not let you fall. Faith that there is something better waiting beyond the loss. Faith that your life is not ending, it is being reborn. You have cried long enough. You have begged long enough. You have tried to fit into places too small for your soul. But you are not meant to shrink, you are meant to rise, to take up space, to walk with authority, knowing that you are backed by the God who commands the stars. And hear me, not everyone will understand. Not everyone will applaud your healing. Some will resent it, some will try to drag you back into the pit of who you used to be. But you must keep going, because healing is not just about you, it's about the generations that come after you. It's about breaking the patterns of pain so that your children, your family, your legacy can finally breathe. When you rise, you show others what's possible. When you choose peace over chaos, self-worth over begging, purpose over people-pleasing, you are changing the story. You are shifting the atmosphere around you. And though it may feel lonely at first, you are never truly alone. For God, the very one who formed you, walks beside you. And where His presence is, there is clarity, not confusion. There is freedom, not fear. So yes, you were broken. Yes, you were used. Yes, you were taken for granted. But now you are rising with a fire in your spirit and a calm in your bones, with wounds that have turned into wisdom, with silence that has turned into strength. The very things that were sent to destroy you have become your armor. You are not bitter, you are better. Not hardened, but wiser. And as you move forward, do not carry the weight of those who would not walk with you. Leave their names behind. Release the need for closure. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your redemption. Some people were only meant to be lessons, but you are meant to be a light. Walk with dignity now, speak with truth, love without fear, but protect your peace fiercely. Guard your heart, not with walls, but with wisdom. And most of all, stay close to the still, steady presence of the one who knows every corner of your soul. For it is in that sacred closeness, in the quiet moments where no one else sees, that your true strength is found. The world may call it solitude, but you will know it as sanctuary. Because when all is stripped away, when the applause fades and the crowd disappears, there remains only you and the Creator. And in that divine space, your soul will remember that you were never alone, never abandoned, never unloved. You are free now, free to rise, free to rebuild, free to walk away from those who could never hold the depth of your spirit. And with every step, you are walking deeper into the life God always intended for you, a life of peace, power, and purpose. There will be days when the loneliness howls so loud it drowns out your thoughts, when memories of those who left replay like a broken song, when the silence in the room feels heavier than the presence of people who never saw you, never knew the real depths of you. In those moments, it is not your strength that will save you. It is the mercy of the one who never leaves. Oh, how deep that mercy runs. Deeper than your heartbreak, wider than your grief, stronger than the lies you were told about your worth. You may not understand the path you're on. You may not see where it's leading, but rest in this truth: you are not walking alone. The one who designed your every breath walks before you, beside you, and behind you, guiding, shielding, whispering, keep going. You didn't survive all you've survived to give up now. You didn't climb through the ashes of betrayal, through the cold night of depression, through the dark valleys of rejection, to settle in sorrow. No, you were meant to live, and not just breathe, but truly live. To stretch your soul toward the sun, to feel peace settle over you like morning dew, to laugh from a place that once only knew mourning. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they made you question your value, but listen to me. Their failure to see your light does not dim it. It never did. They walked away because they couldn't handle the radiance in you that even you had forgotten. And now is your time to remember who you are, not because of what people say, but because of what the Creator placed inside of you. There is a divine blueprint etched into your being, a calling, a reason, a sacred design that no pain can erase. Even when you were breaking, the Creator was building. Even when they left you bleeding, heaven was healing. Even when you stood at the edge, ready to give up, you were being held, not by your own willpower, not by their apologies, but by something higher, deeper, unshakable. You are still standing because God's mercy refused to let go. And now you have a choice. You can let your past become a prison, or you can let it become a platform. You can stay chained to what they said, what they did, what they never gave, or you can break free, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with holy release, with a calm that says, I no longer need your validation. I have peace that surpasses every storm you brought into my life. The rising is never comfortable. It pulls on the very places you tried to numb. It stirs the ache that was easier to ignore. But rising is necessary because you were not meant to live bent under the weight of other people's inability to love you. You were meant to walk upright, with eyes lifted, shoulders back, a heart wide open to the future that still waits for you. You don't have to carry the guilt of what you tolerated. You don't have to explain why you stayed, why you kept trying, why you gave your best to people who only gave their bare minimum. Your healing is not a courtroom, it's a sanctuary. You are not here to prove your pain. You are here to be free from it. The Creator does not ask for perfection. He asks for surrender. Not to people, not to pressure, but to peace. That quiet, unbreakable peace that says, I know I am held, even when nothing makes sense. I trust the plan, even when the road is dark. And when you choose that peace, oh, how the storms begin to lose their power. What was meant to destroy you becomes a soil where your strength is born. What was meant to bury you becomes the very ground from which you bloom. You rise not in spite of the pain, but because of it. And that, my friend, is the miracle. That your suffering was not the end, it was the beginning of something eternal. There is something sacred about the breaking point. That moment when everything inside you screams, I cannot go on. That moment when your hands are empty, your back is bent, your strength is gone. And yet somehow you are still breathing, still standing, still rising. How? Not because you were strong enough, not because others helped enough, but because God's mercy refused to let you fall. It is in your lowest places that the highest plans begin to unfold. That's the mystery, that's the divine design. The place where others walked away, that's where the Creator leaned in. The moment they let go, that's when the one who never leaves took hold. The very space where you lost everything became the ground where the greatest rebuilding would begin. Don't you see? The plan is not ruined because of your detour. It's not canceled because of your delay. It's not erased because of what they did to you. What was meant to stop you has become the stage for your rising. What was meant to silence you has become the fuel for your voice. And what was meant to kill your spirit has now revealed its true power. It could not. The enemy of your peace is not only pain, it's the lie that says the pain was pointless. But hear me now, nothing is wasted in the hands of the Creator. Not a tear, not a mistake, not a scar. Every broken piece, every shattered dream, every night you cried with no one there, it is all being woven into something holy, something lasting, something far beyond what you imagine. You thought it was over, but you were only being refined. They thought they buried you, but they didn't know you were a seed. And now you are growing in places no one expected, blossoming through concrete, breathing in the places you once bled, smiling where you once screamed, and all of it, every last part, is a testament to the one who never let go. The road hasn't been easy. It wasn't supposed to be, because you're not here for ordinary things. You are here to carry the extraordinary. A kind of strength that cannot be taught, only earned through fire. And the fire you walked through, it didn't burn you, it baptized you. It didn't destroy you, it defined you. Look around. The chains that once bound you are lying broken at your feet. The weight that once crushed you is now behind you. And even though you still carry the memory of what was, you no longer carry the fear, because you have seen what happens when you let go of what hurts and cling to what heals. When you stop begging for love from those who can't give it and start receiving it from the source that never runs dry. This is freedom, not the absence of struggle, but the presence of peace in the midst of it. Not the lack of sorrow, but the unshakable truth that you are being carried through it. There's a hand above you, unseen but sure, guiding you through the fog, steadying you in the waves, whispering, "You are not done yet, so walk on." Not in bitterness, but in boldness. Not dragging the weight of the past, but holding the fire of what's to come. Because you are not a victim of what happened, you are a vessel for what is being birthed. They may never apologize. They may never understand what they did. But that doesn't matter anymore. Your healing does not depend on their remorse. Your peace is not tied to their presence. You have been pulled out of the pit by a force greater than pain, a mercy that transcends all human understanding. And it is that mercy that will carry you to the next chapter. You don't owe your future to the ones who couldn't honor your heart. You don't owe explanations to those who misunderstood your soul. What you owe is this moment, this sacred now, this divine breath that says, "I am still here, and I will no longer shrink for the comfort of..." You are not here to be tolerated. You are here to be treasured, not by everyone, but by the one who made you. You are not here to chase what doesn't choose you. You are here to receive what was always meant for you. And so rise. Rise in your spirit. Rise in your mind. Rise in your vision. Let the world see what resilience looks like. Let them see what happens when a broken soul is lifted by eternal mercy. Let them see that you can be bruised, but still blazing. Knocked down, but never knocked out. Pushed away, but still powerful. Because when all else fails, when the crowds fall silent, when the doors shut, when the applause stops, there remains a presence that holds you, a plan that still unfolds, a love that will not die. That is the miracle. That is the promise. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too far gone. The things they said about you, the lies, the insults, the abandonment, none of it has the final word. The Creator of time, of truth, of all living breath, He alone holds the pen to your story, and He is still writing. If only you could see what is being prepared for you. If only you could feel the wind of new doors opening just beyond the pain. There is a chapter being written right now that will redeem every tear you cried alone. A page that will answer the questions you screamed into the silence. A turning point is coming, not through people, but through the divine unfolding of your destiny. You were not created to live in the shadows of what others failed to see in you. You were created to shine, to lead, to rise. But first you had to walk through the wilderness. You had to be emptied of your dependency on them so you could be filled by the one who never fails. Some of the pain you felt was protection. Some of the rejection you faced was redirection. What you thought was loss was actually liberation. Because not everyone who walks with you can go where you're going. And not everything you held on to can survive in the next season of your life. This is your moment of release. This is where you stand up from the ground, wipe the dust from your soul, and declare that you are no longer a prisoner to your past. You are no longer chained to the opinions of those who couldn't love you properly, You are no longer bound by the fear that whispered you are not enough, because now you know you are more than enough. You are chosen, not chosen by man, not chosen by popularity, not chosen by approval, but chosen by the hand that sculpted the mountains, poured the seas, and hung the stars. The very hand that never let you go. Do you feel that fire stirring in you again? That quiet certainty that something greater is coming? That is not your imagination. That is the whisper of your future calling your name. That is the evidence of God's mercy at work. You are stepping out of the grave of almost and not quite and never enough, and you are stepping into a life where you walk boldly, not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. How did they survive that? Because the answer will shake them. You were held, you were covered, you were carried by a mercy stronger than pain, a plan greater than your own, a presence that does not flee in the fire, but reveals itself within it. The days of hiding are over. The days of waiting for permission are gone. Now is the time to speak, to rise, to build. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs your story, your scars, your truth. It needs to see what it looks like when someone loses everything and still stands. Yes, your heart has known suffering, but your spirit knows resurrection. You have been broken, yes, but broken open. Open to light, open to change, open to the possibility that the worst days of your life were actually the beginning of the best ones. You don't need to understand everything to trust in the plan. You don't need to see the whole road to take the next step. The one who holds the stars is already ahead of you, making crooked paths straight, turning mourning into dancing, lifting ashes into beauty. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop asking if you're worthy. You are ready, you are worthy, you are chosen. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, still hoping, even after all that life threw at you, is proof enough. And now is the time to live like you believe it. Lift your head, beloved soul. Breathe in the moment. Feel the chains falling. This is not fantasy. This is faith. And faith does not ask for perfect conditions. It rises in the middle of the storm and says, I trust the one who made me. I trust the path, even when I cannot see the end. And you will see the end. You will stand in rooms you were once locked out of. You will taste peace in the same places you once cried. You will find love that doesn't break you. And you will look back and say, now I see, now I know. The pain had a purpose. The delay was protection. The loneliness made room for something sacred. This is your divine turning, your spiritual awakening, your rebirth. And when they ask what happened to you, you'll smile with strength and say, I stopped chasing what was killing me. I stopped begging for what didn't want me. I stopped trying to please those who could never see me, and I surrendered to something higher. I let go, and I rose. You are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. There comes a moment in every life when you must stop running, not because you are weak, but because you are ready to face the truth. Not the truth they spoke about you in anger, not the truth fear whispered in the dark, but the truth that lives inside you, the truth planted there by the Creator from the beginning of time. And here it is. You were never alone. Not for a second. Even in the silence, God was speaking. Even in the chaos, the one who never leaves was orchestrating. Even in your confusion, the path was being prepared. Even in the pit, mercy was there. Not delayed, not denied, just disguised. And now, slowly, As your heart begins to open again, you see it. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the pain. Because the one who holds all time in his hands does not forget what he formed. You are his design. Sacred, intentional, beautiful even when broken, precious even when you forgot your worth. You don't need validation from the ones who walked away. You were validated the moment breath entered your lungs. And nothing, I mean nothing, can steal that worth. You see, this isn't just about healing from people, it's about coming home to yourself, the real you, the version they tried to bury with their doubts, their distance, their coldness. But you are not buried, you are not forgotten, you are being reborn. Every great awakening comes after a great shaking. And oh, how you've been shaken. Friends who turned into strangers, nights that bled into mornings without rest, seasons where you gave everything and got nothing. But hear this, that shaking was not to break you, it was to loosen the chains, the expectations, the illusions, the lies. So now you rise, not with bitterness in your heart, but with fire in your bones. You rise because the ground that once held your tears now holds your roots. You rise because the darkness you once feared has only made your light burn brighter. You rise because God never stopped believing in you, even when you stopped believing in yourself. Yes, you've changed. You've shed layers of people-pleasing. You've released the weight of proving your worth. You've stepped out of roles that silenced you, and now you are walking in truth. Raw, beautiful, untamed truth. And there is no turning back. Do not shrink for those who refuse to grow. Do not apologize for the way you've been transformed. You did not ask for this fire, but you survived it. And that survival is a testimony. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them misunderstand. Their opinion never held your future. What holds your future is the divine mercy that saw you at your lowest and still called you worthy. What shapes your future is not your pain, but how you rise from it. And rise you will. Every step you take is a defiance against despair. Every breath you take is a declaration. I'm still here. Every time you speak truth, love yourself, walk away from what doesn't honor your soul, you are declaring, I choose freedom. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. Preparing you for peace so deep it silences every storm. Preparing you for connections so real they heal what others broke. Preparing you for joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. For strength that doesn't come from applause. For purpose that cannot be stopped. And even now, though the path ahead may not be fully clear, you are already in the beginning of the miracle. You're walking lighter, loving deeper, seeing clearer, not because life got easier, but because you've been refined. And what remains after the refining is not a victim, but a vessel of light, a vessel of hope, a vessel of mercy, a vessel of the very breath of the one who crafted you in eternity's silence. So, carry your head high, not in pride, but in purpose. This pain will not define you. This betrayal will not become your identity. This chapter was hard, yes, but it's not the end. It was the turning point. And when you look back years from now, from a place of peace, from a place of quiet strength, you will smile, not because it didn't hurt, but because now you understand it had to happen. You had to lose what was not yours to find what had been waiting all along, your sacred place in a divine plan. That's where you are headed now, not back into the chaos, not back into the cage, but forward, into alignment, into clarity, into peace that can't be shaken, into love that reflects the heart of the Creator, into a life that feels like home. And now you walk forward not as a survivor, but as a witness of how pain cannot cancel purpose, how rejection cannot erase calling, how loss cannot silence destiny. You've been through storms that tried to destroy you. You've been through darkness that nearly drowned you, and yet here you are. Not the same, but stronger, not untouched, but transformed, because there was always a greater hand, a guiding force, God's mercy, deeper than your deepest despair. It was mercy that held your mind when it wanted to give up, mercy that held your heart when it cracked under pressure, mercy that whispered, "You will not break," when everything around you was crumbling. The plan of the Creator was not to harm you, but to awaken you, to call you out of the noise, out of the crowd, out of every false identity, and back to the truth of who you really are, a soul shaped by divine breath, destined for more. They thought the pain would end you, but what they didn't know was that your roots were not in them. Your hope was not built on their love. Your strength did not come from their approval. It came from something deeper, something older, something eternal. The Creator, who watched you grow in silence, who saw every tear behind every closed door, who heard every prayer too broken to speak out loud. He never left. He was there in the silence, there in the confusion, there in the heartbreak. You weren't abandoned, you were being alive. Because sometimes the path to your purpose is paved through pain. Sometimes the fastest way to truth is through the fire. And sometimes what feels like the end is simply the turning of a page, the start of your greatest chapter. This is the chapter where you learn to walk without begging, where you love without fear, where you speak without shrinking, where you rise not because others pull you up, but because God has breathed new courage into your bones. You may still carry the scars, but now they are sacred, proof that you lived, proof that you fought, proof that you were not consumed by the things that tried to destroy you. You wear them not with shame, but with power, because your pain has become your platform, your suffering has become your strength, and now you are not just healed, you are holy, not because of perfection, but because of presence. Because even in your lowest valley, God walked with you. Even when you didn't feel Him, even when the sky was silent, even when your faith was hanging by a thread, He was faithful. Not always loud, but always there. That's why you're still breathing. That's why, after everything, your heart still believes there's more. That's why you feel the stirring in your soul right now. Not a coincidence, not a fantasy, but a holy reminder. There is still destiny over your life. There is still greatness inside you. There is still something God is calling you to become. So shake off the dust. Let go of what you cannot fix. Forgive those who will never understand. And walk forward, not in fear, but in fire. Not in sorrow, but in sacred boldness. Because you were not created to live in emotional cages. You were made to soar. This is your permission, not from people, from heaven itself. Permission to release. Permission to rise. Permission to be free. Free from guilt, free from shame, free from waiting on apologies, free from tying your joy to those who cannot carry your heart. And what's ahead? Oh, if only you could see what's coming. A peace deeper than words, a joy that isn't performative, a love that doesn't abandon, a clarity that silences all confusion. You will wake up one day and feel it, the shift, the healing, the strength that doesn't have to shout, the calm that doesn't need control. You'll walk into rooms with no fear. You'll speak your truth with no trembling. You'll sit at tables not because you're invited, but because you belong. And it will all make sense. The delay, the loneliness, the cutting away. It was never punishment. It was preparation. Preparation for a future that couldn't fit the old version of you. This is the moment, not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because now your spirit is awake, now your soul remembers, now something eternal stirs in the deepest part of you. You feel it, like the wind before a great storm, like the hush before the dawn. Something is breaking, something is shifting, something is... And what is it? It is your return. Your return to the source, to the voice that called your name before the world knew your face, to the arms that have never stopped reaching for you, to the truth that was buried under years of survival, silence, and sorrow, to the light that never went out, even when everything else did. The Creator is calling, not in wrath, not in condemnation, but in mercy, in love so deep it aches, in tenderness so holy it humbles you, in a whisper that says, "Come home, I was never far. I never stopped seeing you. I never stopped believing in you." You don't have to clean yourself up. You don't have to get it all together. You don't have to pretend anymore. You just have to come. Come tired, come broken, come confused, come angry, come hollow, come as you are, because the one who shaped the galaxies doesn't need your performance. He wants your heart. This world has lied to you. It told you to chase validation, money, image, applause. It told you love is a transaction, that pain is a sign you are weak, that if people leave you must be unworthy. But hear me now, louder than every lie you've ever believed. You are worthy. You are seen. You are loved, not because of what you've done, but because of who made you, because you are divine breath wrapped in skin. And there's nothing you've been through, no place you've been, no mistake you've made that can separate you from the purpose that still lives inside you. Yes, even now, after everything, let the tears fall. Let your pride melt. Let your soul kneel in the silence of this moment, because this is holy ground. Right here, right now, this is where the darkness lifts. This is where the shame dies. This is where you remember who you are. Not forgotten, not forsaken, not broken beyond repair, but chosen, carried, called. You are not made to wander. You are not made to live numb. You are not made to fear your own reflection. You were made for glory, for peace, for a love that will not leave when you're no longer useful, for a life led by something eternal. The Creator is not distant. He is not hiding. He is here. In this moment, in this breath, in this very heartbeat. So cry if you must, break if you must, but do not turn away, because this is not just a speech. This is a call back to your soul, a call to let go of what has hurt you, a call to forgive what you cannot forget, A call to stop waiting for someone else to save you. A call to stop pretending you're fine. A call to rise from the ashes. A call to surrender to the one who still holds you, even when you didn't know it. Lift your eyes. Feel the light. This is your moment. Come back to God. Come back with your broken pieces. Come back with your questions. Come back with your emptiness. And watch what the one who never left can do with a surrendered heart. You don't need all the answers. You just need the courage to say, here I am. I'm tired of running. I'm ready to come home. And when you do, when you drop the mask, when you lay down the weight, when you say those words with trembling lips and a shattered heart, you will feel it. Peace like a river, hope like the morning, love like a fire that will never go out. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning. So come now, come back to God, and never, ever look back again.